Hey there, movie lovers. Welcome back to Rocky Watches Movies. After our extended break, we are back. Hope you didn't miss us too much. Today, we're heading straight to the Wild West with the 1986 comedy classic, Three Amigos. This hilarious film, starring Steve Martin, Chevy Chase, and Martin Short, brought a unique blend of slapstick humor and heart to the Western genre. But while we all love the antics of our three hapless heroes, there are some behind the scenes stories and fun facts that you might not have heard before. So saddle up and join us as we ride through 20 things you never knew about Three Amigos. The film's origins trace back to the 70s, long before co-writer Steve Martin became a movie star or had much experience in screenwriting. He enlisted two writers to develop this idea into a workable screenplay, but that didn't work out. He has explained that the initial script was just very different, very based on puns. A few years later, Martin visited his friend, Saturday Night Live producer Lorne Michaels, who felt it was a good concept but advised Martin to scrap it and start from scratch. Initially, it was going to be called The Three Caballeros. Steve Martin had been inspired to come up with the story after hearing the theme song of the 1944 Disney animated feature, The Three Caballeros. Martin had originally envisioned co-starring in the film alongside John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd. Though it's unclear what happened, perhaps the film simply took too long to get into production. Early on, Steven Spielberg considered directing the film, however, he ultimately chose to make E.T. instead. In later interviews, Spielberg revealed his dream casting for the project had he directed it. Steve Martin would have remained as Lucky Day, but Spielberg envisioned Bill Murray as Dusty Bottoms and Robin Williams as Ned Nederlander. After Landis took on the job, he considered casting Rick Moranis as the third amigo, though only if his first choice Martin Short was unavailable. The film marked Short's first film role. Although he had been performing sketch comedy for years, appearing on Saturday Night Live and SCTV, this film was his big breakthrough. He would later collaborate with Steve Martin in two more films, Father of the Bride in 1991 and Father of the Bride Part 2 in 1995. Renowned musician Randy Newman co-wrote the screenplay for the film, marking his only screenwriting credit to date, while the legendary composer Elmer Bernstein provided the film's score. Newman wrote all the original songs, including My Little Buttercup, Blue Shadows, and The Ballad of the Three Amigos. There are a few playful references to some of Steve Martin's 80s classics in this film. For instance, a running gag in the detective movie spoof Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid features Martin's character Rigby Riordan repeatedly shot in the left arm. This is also where Martin's character Lucky Day is shot and injured. Also, when the Amigos chant to awaken the invisible swordsman, Lucky exclaims, "Farley, Farley, 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 furr." This is a nod to Martin's role as the ridiculously named Dr. Michael Furrer in The Man with Two Brains. Director John Landis revealed that the scene in the film that features the cowboys singing in the desert with several nearby animals joining in wasn't in the script, but was an idea he came up with during filming. Landis has said, "That singing turtle was my idea. It's a desert setting, so we needed plenty of animals. The animals were on set with handlers and wires to prevent them from running off, but I remember the coyote was the most difficult." Several films released after shared its premise. Movies such as Galaxy Quest in 1999 and Tropic Thunder in 2008 feature movie stars who accidentally find themselves in real danger. Galaxy Quest revolved around a group of washed-up sci-fi stars who ended up interacting with real aliens. Commenting on the films that borrow from the film's premise, Landis has remarked, "They completely ripped it off. The Pixar movie about the ants, A Bug's Life, took the same plot. It's amazing how often the plot has been used. If Galaxy Quest weren't so funny, it would probably bother me more." While editing the film, Landis was also involved in the trial for the tragic accident that occurred during the production of Twilight Zone, the movie. He was fighting involuntary manslaughter charges after a helicopter accident resulted in the deaths of 3 actors, including the decapitation of star Vic Morrow. Due to his time spent away from the editing room during the trial, Orion Pictures began editing without Landis's consent. As a result, many scenes were cut against his wishes. He went on to say, "When I turned the movie over to the studio, they took over and removed a lot of stuff that I actually thought was great." After watching, please check out our video looking into the life and career of director John Landis on our new channel, Rocky Goes to Hollywood. There's a link in the description below and one at the end of this video. Thanks for your support, it really is appreciated. Three Amigos has a running time of 104 minutes, but it could have been much longer if director Landis had filmed everything in the script and had full control over editing. According to Steve Martin, one scene was too expensive to shoot. It involved them getting buried up to their necks by some weird tribe, with Martin announcing, "If you don't set us free, I'm going to make the sun go dark." Then the sun darkens, which would have been a costly shot to pull off. Comedian Fran Drescher filmed a role that was ultimately cut. Her character would have been introduced early on as the Amigos walked through the elaborate movie studio, where they would have seen her filming a scene in a Marie Antoinette costume. Controversial comedian Sam Kinison played a cannibalistic mountain man in a cutscene meant to follow the Invisible Swordsman sequence. John Landis said the scene got big laughs at a test screening, but was cut due to pacing and lack of relevance to the plot. He hoped to include the scene on the DVD release, but the studio had misplaced the footage and couldn't locate it. To this day, it remains missing. Steve Martin learned the rope tricks he performed in the film while working at Disneyland as a teenager. He worked there part-time from the age of 10 to 18, initially selling guidebooks before moving on to selling spinning lassos in Frontierland. While filming a pistol fight in the movie, Martin developed tinnitus, a persistent ringing in the ears that sometimes fades over time. In his case, the condition turned out to be permanent. Reflecting on his experience with it, he has said, "You just get used to it or you go insane." Chevy Chase didn't realize his microphone was live while waiting for a shot to be set up on the edge of a precarious cliff. He made a dark joke about the 3 actors that had died while Landis had been at the helm of Twilight Zone, the movie. A fist fight nearly broke out when Landis overheard Chase's comments, which were made shortly after other snide remarks about how Landis's decisions had tainted their previous collaboration, Spies Like Us. Randy Newman also provided the voice for the singing bush. Technically, the bush itself was played by, well, a bush, but Newman's voice was digitally altered for the role. Director Landis revealed that he had considered various ways of bringing the singing bush to life, including animating it or somehow making its lips move. However, he ultimately chose a more naturalistic approach, allowing Newman's singing to dominate the scene. The film is packed with fake movie references, from Harry Flugelman, the Amigos' fictional producer, to made-up films like Amigos, 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 and Little Neddy Grab Your Gun. However, there's one moment where a real star from the silent film era is mentioned. When Ned Nederlander brags to the villagers about his film career, he drops the name of actress Dorothy Gish, telling the bewildered villagers about the time she visited him on set. Today, that name would likely land as flat with audiences as it did with the fictional villagers. Though largely forgotten now, Dorothy Gish was an actress and director from the silent movie era, and the lesser-known sister of Oscar-nominated actress Lillian Gish. One memorable scene features the German gunslinger getting into a scuffle inside the Mexican cantina. The antagonistic cowboy who taunts the German was inspired by Luke, the mustachioed cowboy who appears on each of Pure Prairie League's album covers from the 1970s. While promoting the film on The David Letterman Show, Steve Martin introduced a series of souvenirs of ever-increasing absurdity. These included 3 Amigos rubber cement, holy water blessed by the 3 Amigos, turkey basters in sizes ranging from Martin Short to Steve Martin. the Egg Amigo breakfast sandwich, and 3 Amigos contraceptive foam. Just before the film's release in December 1986, Chase appeared on The Tonight Show to promote the film and stuck around when critics Gene Siskel and Roger Ebert joined Johnny Carson to talk movies. When asked by Carson about his least favourite Christmas release, Ebert jokingly replied, 3 Amigos. After the show, Chase reportedly approached Ebert in his dressing room and said, "I don't think it's so hot either." The film seems like a natural candidate for a sequel, as Lucky Day, Dusty Bottoms, and Ned Nederlander could have embarked on all sorts of Western-style adventures. However, any thoughts of a sequel ended as soon as it didn't do very well at the box office. The film took in just under $40 million, a surprisingly low figure for a movie starring big names like Chevy Chase and Steve Martin at the time. Yet thanks to home video sales and cable TV airings, it became an enduring favourite. On an episode of The Tonight Show, co-writer Randy Newman mentioned that he'd heard a rumour that they want to make a musical of it. We'll just have to wait and see. A novelisation of the film was published, written by Lenore Fleischer. It was an official adaptation of the original screenplay and was even promoted in the film's credits. And there you have it, folks. Don't forget to check out our video on the life of John Landis on our new channel. If you enjoyed this video, which I presume you did as you got this far, hit that like button and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.